Non-matching centers is a special Roux technique in which we take advantage of a special situation in order to make it easier to make our first and second block. So let's take a look at how it's done. Alright, so if you look at this situation, we can see that we have a partially completed first square, so everything is in place except for the center. Now there are ways that we could get this center in, it's just not going to be very helpful. There's actually a quicker way that we can do it, and a little shortcut we can take, which is basically leaving it alone and fixing it later. That's essentially what non-matching centers is. So with non-matching centers, which I'm going to do in this solve, I'm just going to act like this red is a green center for now, and not really care that it's incorrect. And we're just going to keep on solving the first and second block and ignore all of our center orientations for now. So, alright, that's my edge. I can just pair up this pair, insert it. So now we have a completed first block, incorrect center. Next piece, okay, here. Alright, so now I've completed my second block as well, again with an incorrect center. So now, so if you remember back to when I said non-matching centers is essentially leave it alone and fix it later. Well, we've come to the fix it later part. We now actually have to fix our center orientations so the rest of the solve turns out well. So what we're going to do is we're going to look and see that we need the green and blue centers to put in. So we're going to take the blue and green center and use an M prime or M if necessary to put it on the top and bottom. So if your centers were already on the top and bottom, it doesn't matter. But if it was in the middle here, then you're going to move it to the top. So after you move it to the top, we're going to do a wide U prime to bring out our incorrect centers, and then use an M to insert our correct centers like this. Then do another U wide in order to fix the blocks. So there we did, we just fixed it later. So all we did in non-matching centers is we ignored a problem and fixed it later in order to make our first two blocks easier. So now you can just continue with the rest of your solve. Now, if you're going to fix your centers and it's not in any of the middle layers, but it's instead incorrectly opposite, then all you have to do is do a U wide prime and an M2 to switch the centers, and then do another U wide in order to fix your problem. Now, if you want, you can do CMLL before you fix your centers, and that's okay. But what you cannot do is you cannot do EO, because if you do EO, and then we try and fix our centers, it can mess up your edge orientation. So you can do CMLL, but do not do EO before you fix your centers, or else it's going to mess up your progress. Alright, so I'm going to do one more example. So in this situation, we don't have a completed first square, but I'm still going to do non-matching centers anyway, because I see... Oh, can this focus, please? It's not going to focus. Alright. Just need to wait for it to focus. Alright, there we go. So, there is no completed center, or I mean first square, but there is a very easy first square like this, which is just more convenient than, you know, like putting in our centers or something like that. So, we'll just do an F prime, or yeah, F prime, to fix our centers, and then we can just solve our first block, ignoring the center. Now I know that green is opposite of blue, so we can just go ahead and solve the rest. And we solved our second block, ignoring the centers. So I guess in this case, I'll do CMLL, just so that you can. And then I'm going to do an M prime to move our centers into the top, U wide prime to move our incorrect centers out. Then I see green on top and green's on the back, so I'm going to have to do another M prime and a U wide to fix. And now I've completed our centers. Had a problem earlier that I ignored, and now I'm fixing it later. So now we can just continue with the rest of the solve. And that's it. We're done. So non-mounting centers is a great technique for anyone, beginner or pro, and I suggest that you use it, and it'll really make some of the tricky situations in first two blocks a lot easier. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe or whatever, and I'll see you guys next time.